Walk into any supermarket right now. What you'll see is protein yogurt and protein bread and protein chips and protein candy. And at the same time, you're being told to eat more protein for menopause by your doctor, by your nutritionist, every fitness account you follow. And then we hear that too much protein might not be good for us, for our kidney. Maybe it even triggers cancer, all kinds of things. So which is it? Is protein a real game changer, or is it just the newest wellness trend? Today, I'm giving you the science, what protein actually does in your body, how much you really need in perimenopause and menopause, and how to make it work without turning your life upside down. Why protein matters? Protein is not a trend. It's literally the building material your body runs on. It builds and repairs muscle fiber, produces collagen for skin and joints, it creates enzymes, hormones, immune cells, neurotransmitters, including serotonin and dopamine. Too little protein is not just a muscle issue, it also affects your skin, your bone health, your immunity, your hormones, and even your mood. And menopause changes everything even more. Estrogen played a role in muscle protein synthesis. And as estrogen declines, your body becomes less efficient at using protein, which means you need more to achieve the same results as before. Without enough protein, muscle loss accelerates. We lose muscle age 35, 40, and up anyway. Sarcopenia, that consistent gradual muscle loss, it starts and it keeps going if we don't work against it. And how do we work against it? Strength training and protein. So yes, protein is important. Not all protein is equal. Protein is made up of amino acids. Over 500 amino acids exist in nature. Your body uses 20 of them to build its own proteins. These 20 are called proteinogenic amino acids. Think of them as your biological alphabet. The same 20 letters arranged differently create thousands of completely different proteins. Of those 20 amino acids, 11 your body can produce on its own. 9 are essential. They must come from food. There are different ones. Leucine, for example, is the most powerful trigger for muscle protein synthesis, so an important amino acid to integrate. A complete protein source contains all 9 essential amino acids in sufficient amounts. Animal sources are naturally complete. Plant sources often need smart combining. For example, if you eat lentils plus quinoa, tofu plus sesame seeds, edamame plus buckwheat, then you also get complete proteins. But if you only eat single sources, you might miss certain of the essential amino acids. This is not a disadvantage of plant-based eating. It simply means a bit more awareness, and you have to combine and make sure you get plenty of different plant proteins to eventually get all 9 essential amino acids in your day. If you look at protein inside a meal, it's also important to note that a protein-rich meal keeps you full longer. It stabilizes your blood sugar, it provides building material, like I said, and it boosts your metabolism. That's the difference between a meal that carries you and one that leaves you hungry 2 hours later. So the satiety piece is important. Protein stimulates GLP-1 and PYY, your satiety hormones, and suppresses ghrelin, your hunger hormone. This is biochemistry, not willpower. Blood sugar regulation is such an important topic in perimenopause, menopause, and beyond, and protein slows carbohydrate absorption. That means you will have a flatter blood sugar curve after a meal that's rich in protein. So, for example, that 3 p.m. energy crash, that's often a blood sugar problem, not a discipline problem. And you can prevent that by eating a meal that's balanced, meaning has a lot of protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, lots of color. Why else is protein important? Of course, muscle protein synthesis. Your body has the immediate building material after every protein-rich meal, not just after workouts, to build muscle. And then there's this thermal effect. Your body burns roughly 20 to 30% of protein calories just digesting it. Compare that to 5 to 10 for carbs and 0 to 3% for fat. That's a real metabolic advantage. It's small, but it is an advantage. How much protein do you actually need? That obviously is one of the most asked questions I get. And the current evidence for active women shows 1.2 to 1.6 gram of protein per kilogram of ideal body weight per day. Ideal body weight. More than that brings no additional benefits for recreational exercises. But the real problem is almost never that we get too much. It's almost always that we get too little, especially women our age. So a practical target, try to shoot for 25 to 35 grams of protein per main meal. Spread that across your day. Let's talk about the other side of protein. Is there a negative side? For example, a large observational study with over 6,000 participants followed over 18 years found that very high animal protein intake was associated with increased cancer risk. The proposed mechanism was that animal protein stimulates IGF-1. That's a growth factor that promotes cell growth, which can theoretically also favor cancer cell growth. But this was specifically very high animal protein intake, not protein in general. Longevity research is also looking at methionine, an essential amino acid found in high amounts in animal protein, and its potential link to accelerate aging processes. Bottom line, not a reason for panic and not a reason for extremes. It simply means pro-diversity, not anti-food group, meaning we don't just eat animal protein, we eat a good mix of animal and plant protein. Little bit of animal, high quality ideally, and then lots of plant proteins. Or if you choose to eat plant proteins, then you just have to look for good combinations so that you get all the essential amino acids. Let's look at a rough sample day. What can you eat for breakfast that's high in protein? You can eat Greek yogurt or skyr with berries and nuts and flaxseed or chia seed or hemp seed. That gets you around 20 to 25 grams of protein plus healthy fats and fiber. For lunch, you can eat a good balanced bowl. You can have lots of veggies, broccolis and peas and greens, quinoa and some salmon, or quinoa and some tempeh if you'd rather have a plant-based option. And for dinner, you can have lentils and feta or tofu and colorful vegetables. All of that is high in fiber and complete amino acid profile, super satisfying. Important for snacks, also watch for protein. So if you have an apple, have it with some almonds or have edamame for a snack. That way you can get a good amount of protein, depending on your portion size, of course. And then you can think about supplementing as well. If you want to, you can choose a high-quality supplement to support your day. Good protein powder or similar products can be helpful, but the quality and the source is super important. Hit me up if you are looking for recommendations. So, quick summary. Protein is a genuine game changer in menopause. Not because it's trendy, but because your biology demands it. The source matters, the amino acid profile matters, the quality and the variety matter. Plant-based, animal-based, ideally mixed. All approaches work when done with awareness. Don't overdo it on the animal, lots of plant, and you're good to go. If you want to start building strength right now, start with strength training and combine it with good protein. There's this free strength training download in the description that you can grab. And of course, to build muscle, you can join Power and Balance, my strength training course specifically designed for women in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and beyond. It is never too late. Simple, effective, and super efficient. Power and Balance. We talk about bone health, pelvic floor. We talk about protein and the right nutrition around your strength training. You can do it from home, from your living room, in the basement, or you can go to the gym. You get the best exercises for us. Women, 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, healthy longevity, the female way. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a like and a comment and grab the free strength training download. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Power and Balance.